Have you ever wondered if human learning is becoming redundant in an age where artificial intelligence can calculate, analyze, and process information faster than any individual? This is one of the most pressing questions of our time. If computers can outperform us in basic literacy, numeracy, and data analysis, what exactly is the purpose of the human brain? To address this, we must first look at historical precedents. This is not the first time technology has placed humans under significant cognitive and evolutionary pressure. Consider the invention of the printing press. Before its existence, reading and writing were not universal skills. Literacy was a luxury reserved for a privileged few. However, once the printing press democratized information, humankind underwent a profound evolutionary leap. We did not succumb to the technology. Instead, we adapted to it by elevating our collective capacity to learn and read. Today, we are standing at another similar turning point. We must recognize that we are currently facing a new kind of evolutionary pressure, which is primarily mental rather than physical. It is not about our ability to run faster or stand taller, but about our capacity to think more systematically and creatively. To navigate this, it is essential to understand how the human brain functions. Cognitive psychology reveals that our brain operates in two distinct modes. The first is the lower cognitive mode, which is our default. This mode is heavily related to memory, basic understanding, and the application of automated skills. When you ride a bicycle, you aren't thinking about the physics of balance. You are using an automated autopilot skill you learned long ago. The lower cognitive mode is incredibly energy efficient. Our brain is the largest energy consumer in the human body, so it naturally prefers this lower mode because it requires minimal effort to operate. This is why we often rely on stereotypes or repetitive thinking. It is the path of least resistance. However, the second mode, the higher cognitive mode, is where real human intellect is tested. This mode involves constant analysis, ethical evaluation, and the creation of something genuinely new. Unlike the lower mode, operating in this space is extremely energy expensive. It is why you feel physically exhausted after a day of intense study or problem solving. Your brain has effectively burned through your body's energy reserves. Historically, education systems for the last 200 years have focused almost exclusively on the lower cognitive mode. We taught students to memorize facts, understand basic concepts, and apply them in familiar contexts. Teachers often checked for mastery by testing whether a student remembered specific information or followed established procedures. The problem today is that artificial intelligence is already capable of performing all of these lower-order tasks. If we continue to center our education system on rote memorization and basic application, we are effectively training humans to compete with machines at tasks where machines will inevitably win. This is no longer a viable path. In the age of AI, we can no longer afford to remain in this lower cognitive mode. We must consciously train ourselves to remain in the higher cognitive mode for as long as possible. We need to shift from simple memorization to rigorous analysis. This means asking why historical events occurred, evaluating the ethical implications of technological advancements, and creating solutions for entirely new, complex situations. AI, however, is purely statistical. It lacks the capacity for genuine human creation and ethical judgment. This is where our unique potential remains untapped. So where do we find the space to develop these skills? The answer lies in using AI, not as a replacement for thinking, but as a Socratic tutor. Instead of letting AI do the work for us, we should use it to push us into higher-order thinking. A Socratic-style AI does not provide direct answers. Instead, it challenges you with questions, forcing you to analyze, compare, and critically evaluate the subject matter. It becomes a mirror that demands you engage your higher cognitive faculties. Without this kind of external push, human brains will naturally gravitate back toward the easier energy-saving lower mode, leading to a kind of cognitive stagnation. Education must evolve to prioritize these higher-order skills, starting from a young age. Whether it is analytical thinking, systematic evaluation, or creative problem-solving, these processes must be integrated into the curriculum immediately. The objective is to produce humans who are comfortable in new, unfamiliar environments, people who do not merely repeat what they have been told, but evaluate the world critically. Ultimately, this is a call to evolve our minds. It is not about how many hours we spend using AI. It is about why and how we use it. We have the opportunity to move beyond the traditional focus on memory and toward a future where our most valuable asset is our ability to think, evaluate, and create in ways that machines cannot replicate. By consciously training our brains to stay in the higher cognitive mode, we can ensure that we remain the architects of our own progress, using our tools to build a more thoughtful and capable future. The era of mindless memorization is over. The era of higher-order human thinking has begun. Like and subscribe for more cognitive insights. Have a nice day!